Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a massive leadership shift at Infosys. We're talking about a $20 billion IT titan, a company with over 40 years of history stepping right onto the front lines of the AI revolution. And this, it isn't just your standard changing of the guard. It's a fundamental strategic pivot for one of the most important tech companies in the world.
To really get a grip on this horizon shift, we'll break it down into 4 quick parts. The new CEO designate, the rock-solid foundation he's inheriting, how they're navigating AI and fierce competition, and finally, their sustainability and governance.
Let's kick things off with Part 1, the new CEO designate.
So with the breaking news that the baton is passing from current CEO SALIL PAREKH to a new leader, the Infosys board had to answer an almost existential question. What kind of leader do we need right now? They had to find someone who can drive bold, aggressive AI transformation, but who also has the seasoned judgment to preserve deep customer trust. And honestly, in an era where AI rewrites the rules literally every single day, striking that perfect balance is incredibly tough.
Chairman Nandan Nilekani summed it up perfectly when he noted that the board was laser-focused on finding exactly that combination: bold transformation plus steadfast trust. And rather than headhunting some Silicon Valley disruptor from the outside, they proudly announced they found their answer in a 3-decade internal veteran. The pedigree of ASHISH Kumar Dash fits that bill to a T. He's not just an administrator, right? He's a digital transformation native. With over 30 years at Infosys, he's currently the executive vice president and global head of a massive portfolio spanning over 12 industry verticals. He's the guy actively helping Fortune 500 enterprises figure out their digital futures. Add in an academic background from IIT Kharagpur, Stanford, and the London Business School, and you've got a leader who is deeply in the technological weeds, but also operates at the highest levels of global strategy.
Now, because the stakes are so incredibly high, Infosys is leaving absolutely nothing to chance when it comes to market stability. They've rolled out a highly structured succession plan. Dash was appointed CEO designate in July 2026, which kicks off a seamless 9-month transition period working side by side with Salil PAREKH. Then, Dash officially takes over as Managing Director and CEO on April 1, 2027, locking in an initial 5-year term that runs all the way to March 2032.
Moving on to Part 2, a rock-solid foundation. Dash is stepping into the top job, sure, but what exactly is he inheriting from Salil PAREKH's highly successful 9-year run? Well, he's taking the wheel of an absolute financial juggernaut. Under PAREKH, Infosys doubled its revenue, hitting a mind-boggling 178,650 crores in fiscal year 2026. That's a massive scale of operations, driven by a 9.6% revenue growth last year, fueled by favorable currency tailwinds and a very strong push into digital services.
The really crucial thing to understand here is where all that money is actually coming from. Their revenue is heavily anchored in massive traditional industries. Banking, financial services, and insurance make up nearly 28% of their revenue. Manufacturing is right behind that at over 16%. We are talking about huge, incredibly complex clients that demand absolute reliability, which totally explains why preserving trust was such a major factor in Dash's appointment. All of that revenue builds an absolute fortress of a balance sheet. Crystal just reaffirmed their AAA rating, they have 0 long-term debt, and a robust net worth of about 75,000 crores. But you know what the most exciting number is for a brand new CEO? It's that surplus liquidity, roughly 47,000 crores. That is a massive cash war chest. Even after executing an 18,000 crore share buyback, they have the liquid capital on hand to fund niche acquisitions and just pour money into aggressive AI investments over the medium term.
And operating this incredible financial machine is a sprawling global workforce of over 328,000 employees. This immense talent pool is actively executing on $14.9 billion in newly won large deals from just the past fiscal year alone. Dash is basically inheriting a finely tuned engine that is already running at top speed.
Which brings us to Part 3, navigating AI and competition. Now, despite that rock-solid foundation, it is definitely not all smooth sailing. Dash is taking over right as the IT industry is facing some severe macroeconomic headwinds and massive structural disruption. First off, consider their market exposure. 56% of their business comes from the US and 32% is from Europe. Why does that matter? Because right now, persistent economic uncertainty in those specific regions is forcing clients to be extremely cautious.
Discretionary IT spending is tightening up, which means growth in constant currency terms has been squeezed down to a much more modest 3.1%. But the biggest structural challenge staring Dash in the face is AI. It's a classic double-edged sword for traditional IT companies. On one hand, it's a huge opportunity, a massive growth driver for new high-margin digital transformation consulting. But on the flip side, it's a profound threat. AI automation lets clients achieve the exact same operational results with way less human effort. That puts traditional, labor-intensive delivery models at risk, and AI-driven productivity gains are actively compressing deal sizes. Add to that the fact that they now have to fend off aggressive, emerging AI-native competitors.
To fight back, Infosys isn't just resting on its laurels. They're deploying their core strategy, known as the Unlock AI Value Framework. They're aggressively shifting the battleground. Instead of just competing on basic IT support or traditional outsourcing, they're pivoting hard into complex AI-first business consulting. They're embedding AI into everything, from physical AI and legacy modernization to data insights and digital trust. They essentially want to be the orchestrators of enterprise AI for all of their clients.
Finally, let's look at Part 4, Sustainability and Governance.
Think about it. To execute a strategic pivot of that magnitude, literally shifting the direction of a ship with over 328,000 people on board, a company needs an incredibly stable cultural and operational core. You simply can't transform if you're constantly putting out internal fires. And this is where Infosys really shines and builds immense stakeholder confidence. On the environmental side, they've been carbon neutral across all emission scopes for 7 straight years, with 11 campuses achieving true zero waste certification. But a truly standout metric is their employee attrition, which plummeted to just 12.6% in FY26, down from nearly 21% just a few years prior. In the notorious high-turnover world of IT, retaining your talent at that rate provides a massive level of operational stability.
Add their governance structure into the mix. They've got a 78% independent board of directors, which ensures transparent oversight. And perhaps the most crucial stat for an IT firm handling the world's most sensitive data, absolutely zero material data breaches reported in the entire fiscal year. When you combine that flawless security record with a deeply stable workforce, you get a heavily fortified foundation, perfectly positioned to support radical AI innovation without ever losing client trust.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Ashish Kumar Dash is inheriting a pristine financial machine, a massive cash reserve, and a brilliant, clearly articulated AI strategy. He's got the operational stability and the deep internal know-how. But in an era where artificial intelligence is literally rewriting the fundamental rules of business every single day, we have to ask, is putting a 3-decade internal veteran at the helm the ultimate advantage that will ground their AI ambitions in reality? Or, when faced with hyper-agile AI-native disruptors, will those deep legacy roots ultimately hold them back? It is going to be a fascinating transition to watch unfold. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.